2 years ago, I had a very crazy panic attack. And at that time, I didn't know it was a panic attack. I just thought I'm having a heart attack. And it felt like one. I didn't know what a heart attack was at that time, but it just felt like my heart's beating so fast that it's probably going to jump out of my body or just going to explode. And while that was happening, I was feeling extremely difficult to breathe. It was like somebody's choking me from inside, and I couldn't breathe anymore. And when this feeling of breathlessness came in, I felt like I couldn't stand anymore. So I instantly ran into my living room because I remember it was morning and I was making breakfast when it just suddenly came. While I was making breakfast, I was standing next to the stove and I felt like I can't even stand anymore. So I just rushed to my living room. I tried to sit on the sofa and try to take deep breaths, to calm myself and somehow like get my breathing in order or my heart to calm down because it's beating so fast. But it just didn't help. And I think few seconds later, if I remember, I was on the carpet and I was rolling around. And by that time, I had no idea what was going on around me. All I knew was that I was desperate to breathe properly. And I felt like my heart's coming out of my chest and like the whole world was spinning. And I couldn't even ask for help. I couldn't even scream to somebody in my house to come help me. And lucky for me, my nanny, my children's nanny, was coming down the stairs and she saw me like rolling around on the carpet, like trying to breathe and not being able to breathe. And she rushed to me and she said, "Are you okay? Are you fine? Is everything okay?" And I was like, "No, I can't breathe. I just can't breathe." And I remember she rushed to get my husband, who then came and he got hold of me. He tried to give me water and he tried to calm me down. But I felt like I'm just going to die. That was a thought that came to my mind. I'm going to die. I'm dying right now. And I told him, "Take me to the hospital. Take me to the hospital right now." So my dad is a doctor. And whenever we have a medical problem at home or a medical emergency, the first person we call is him. And I asked him to just call my dad and ask him what to do. And I think you should take me to the hospital. And he called my dad right away. And I remember my dad telling him to just lay me down and give me some food right away, some sugary liquid or, some sort of energy thing because it's early morning. Maybe my sugar level's going down, whatever it is. He said, hold on for a couple of seconds, couple of minutes, and then decide whether you want to go to the hospital, but stay at home. Just try to calm her down and tell her to close her eyes and try to, just relax herself and work on her breath. And I remember at that time thinking, nobody's taking me seriously. They are not understanding what's happening with me, what's going on inside of me. They don't realize that. But here I am, I'm having something happening to me, but nobody's taking me to the hospital. So I kind of felt very annoyed and frustrated at that time. And as a panic attack is, it came. And then after I calmed down and I ate something and you know, I was being pampered and taken care of, it went away. And when it went away, that's when I realized, okay, you know what? I have to do something. I need to get myself checked. Just for precautions, I want to go and get myself checked. So I get an appointment for a cardiologist, to see a cardiologist. And I told her everything. She does my ECG. It turns out fine. She says, okay, let's order a heart CT. So I got a heart CT done as well. And when it came back, she said, your heart's perfect. Your valves are all clean and like perfect roads in there. There's no obstruction. There's no plaque. There's no nothing. There's no problem with your heart. And I'm looking at her and I'm like, so are you telling me there's nothing wrong with me? And she said, yes, you're physically, you're fine. There's nothing wrong with your heart. This was definitely not a heart attack. And I'm like, then what was it? Like, what happened to me? Because something happened to me and I can't explain it. And it felt like, I just couldn't, like, I was dying. And at that time, she said, think, I think what you are describing is a panic attack. You had a panic attack. And I was like, really? You think that was a panic attack? And she's like, yeah, that's what a panic attack is. And I was like, why would I get a panic attack? No, I was just, I woke up, I went for a run, and I was making breakfast for my family. There was nothing happening. So why is all of a sudden I had that panic attack? And she said, well, beats me. You have to go to a neurosurgeon or a, brain doctor to get that figured out. And I was like, okay, thank you very much. And I got back home, started looking up panic and anxiety and all that stuff. So when I started looking at it and I started reading about it, I found out, yes, so panic attacks happen in women, and some women who are generally healthy, there's nothing wrong with them. They can be happening for any reason. They can be even hormonally triggered. In my case, they were hormonally triggered because I was very close to my time of the month, and I was stressing my body a lot by doing a lot of physical activity. I was running a lot. Um, and at the same time, I was doing some work which was extremely stressful for me at that time and giving me a lot of mental anxiety. And all of this was piling up inside of me, but I had no idea because, you're one of those people who just, you know, wake up and get ready and, you know, just go, and you don't stop until it's nighttime and it's bedtime. So I'm one of those people, like, unless I am physically incapable of moving, I will go about my day no matter what's going on inside of me, or even if I'm sick, or even if something's bothering me. So I think it was all building up and piling up inside of me. And then it's just exploded in the form of a panic attack. And over the course of next 2 years, I think I had 2 or 3 more of these attacks, like the severe ones I'm talking about, where I'm feeling like I'm literally dying. And out of those 3 panic attacks, twice I ended up in hospital in ER thinking that something's happening to me. I am dying. I'm losing it. My heart is just stopping. And every single time, my ECG was right. My heart was functioning properly. My blood pressure was fine. So what was it? It was a panic attack. And I can tell you that when that happens, only the person who's gone through a panic attack can understand. But if you've not gone through it, and if you see somebody else going through it, I would urge you to be very kind and compassionate towards them, because you have no idea what's going on inside of them. They are literally feeling like they're dying. And when I say that they feel like they're dying, that is what they believe as well. And that moment that they're probably dying, it is that feeling. It is how scary it is. And that is why you're panicking. That is why it's called a panic attack, because you're panicking about that feeling, which is making you feel like, okay, this is the end. We've reached the end. But because you cannot understand it, don't discount it, please. And that is my message for all of those people out there, for the family members, the loved ones of people who have anxiety attacks or panic attacks, to be compassionate towards them, to give them love and care, and to make them feel like they're being understood. Because the worst thing a person can go through when they're having a panic attack is that nobody's understanding them. Nobody's looking after them. That's the worst feeling ever. So if you know somebody who gets a panic attack every now and then, or if you are someone who had a panic attack or gets panic attacks, it's very important that you educate people around yourself, and especially people who can be the immediate caretakers for you when you are in that situation. In my case, my husband is my biggest, you know, caretaker, supporter, partner, and he knows very well that when, if and when that happens, how he has to manage the situation. The first thing you have to do is calm yourself down, tell yourself this is just a panic attack. So, understanding and acceptance is the first step to getting over the panic attack. And that's how I have been handling it every time it happens now. And it started to happen quite less frequently now. And it's less intense as compared to what it used to be before. And what I do simply is that the minute I start feeling that, okay, I'm getting those same feelings of a panic attack coming, I instantly sit myself down. And first thing I do is get into the acceptance stage that, okay, you know what? I'm about to have a panic attack. It is coming, it's happening. Okay, that's fine. We know how it goes. It comes, it surges, and then at the peak, reaches the peak, then it calms down. It starts to go down, right? And then you're normal. You're back to your normal self again. So we just have to go through it. It's coming. We just have to go through it. And we will use the tactics that we have, the methods that we have that always help, which is have your loved one near you. If you are alone, that's fine as well. Just message somebody that you're having a panic attack who's very close to you. Let them know. Somebody should know that you're going through this. And the second step is start the breathing exercises right away. The minute you start feeling like you're having this panic attack, just sit down, close your eyes, start doing these breathing exercises for good 3 to 6 minutes. And initially, it will be very difficult for you to control your breath and to hold it in and to breathe out. But you will see that as you consistently keep doing it, continuously keep breathing through the exercise, your breathing will automatically settle down and you'll get into the rhythm. And by the end of it, the end of 4 to 5 to 6 minutes, you will be calm and much more relaxed. And the third thing you should do instantly is that as soon as the panic attack goes away, get a glass of water, drink some water, eat something healthy, something nutritious. It can be a piece of fruit, it can be, uh, a piece of protein that you like, whatever it is that you like. Just grab something to eat and tell yourself, it's over, you're okay. It's over and you're okay. That's it. There's nothing to worry about. It happens. It happens to the best of us, I would say. And it goes away as well. So if you're like me, or if you know somebody who goes through panic attacks, give them a big hug right now and tell them you're there for them. And if it's you, then tell yourself that you're there for you and you can get over it by yourself with all your might, with all your strength the next time it happens. But you won't let it happen.